All right, welcome back to Roundtail Restoration, everybody. My name's Chris Fisher, and I'm restoring a 1964 Triumph TR4. Wait, what? All right. All right, so yeah, I got 144 miles on Dorothy, and I already got a new project. So this is, to the best of my research, based on the commission number, a 1964 TR4, solid axle car, not the independent rear suspension stuff. A couple things to point out. You can see that the motor is partially disassembled here. Again, I haven't fixed my light problem yet, but that's going to be soon in coming. But it spins, it turns, so no problems there. Well, as far as I know. Commission number, engine number, transmission number, and body number are all within about 100 or 150 units of each one, so I'm going to say that's about as number matching as you can get for a Triumph. The frame, to the best of my ability to look right now anyway, looks good, looks solid. I haven't seen really any rust in the frame. And the doors look good. The fenders look good. A couple of spots here that I'll point out one second. So there's obviously a little ding right there. It's got a pretty good amount of filler in it, and it looks like that extends to about here. You can see the scratchiness of the paint. The car's been resprayed. That's pretty obvious. It is originally red based on paint. Actually, it's paint 32. H11 is the trim, so I assume it's red. Actually, I didn't look that up. I'm pretty sure Signal Red is 32, but I'm not sure if the H11 is black or not. I don't remember Dorothy's commission number off the top of my head. But there's some damage in here that looks relatively easy to repair. Just dents, no rust through. There doesn't appear to be any holes in the outer fenders at all. There's some stuff going on in there, but it doesn't appear to be that bad. That rust and everything in there is from the floors, which are obviously quite bad. So that spot of frame that's right there, I'm concerned about that because water would have just sat on that. So that'll be something that I would need to address and make sure that that's solid. Obviously the sill there is gone and down here. But again, the inner fender looks pretty good. Again, the respray there, but that's I believe that's solid. That's solid metal there, all up and down. There's some cracking here, so I'm not sure if that's the paint or if that's Bondo, but I'll take a look. The inner side, it looks like that's original to the car as far as the undercoating goes. I scraped off some undercoating right here. You can see hopefully that white spot. That's what is underneath the undercoating there, so that looks clean to me. I don't think that's going to be a problem. The end cap right there looks good, and again, as much as I can show you here, it's kind of awkward. The boot looks good. There's a lot of dust in here and a lot of rust, but I got to get that sucked out. But I haven't gone poking with a screwdriver yet, but they're pretty good in there. That looks like it goes through in the corners, but that's kind of expected. I haven't pulled any of these panels off yet. The boot lid is pretty trashed down at the bottom here, so that'll obviously need to be addressed. One thing I noticed is the tail or the rear license plate plinths are way out here, which would be kind of a European thing. You can see up here, wherever it is, there's the holes right there under the in between the R and the I and under the M there. So this was in America, but I don't know if those rear overriders are supposed to be that far and those lights are just really bright or what. I don't know. Rear marker lamps look really good and to be in good shape. There's no cracks. The chrome's not perfect by any means, but the lamps themselves are good. The bumper is in pretty good shape. And the chrome's not great. Same thing on this side, and pretty good. Now there is Bondo right here. I've got bare metal right here. If you can see any of that shininess, I definitely have Bondo in there. But it looks like here where that mark is, that looks like metal to me. So it looks like in here. So I'm kind of hoping that that's a ding or a dent. And then down here, this all appears to be solid metal, and you can kind of see the red underneath. And again, you're looking pretty solid under there. Same with the wheel arches in here. Same with the white shine underneath the filler there, and the end cap looks good. And again, all underneath in here, it looks pretty good. There's some, I don't know what that black gunk is up there, but all the screws for the fenders look good, or the wings, and frame looks pretty good. There's some pretty good dirt build up there, so I'll have to make sure that I clean that off. Again, over in here, the sills get bad, and the floor is shot, and the inner sills are shot. But I don't think there's an inner and outer sills to this. I think it's just a sill. Dashboard is pretty bad. The dash crash pad is nearly perfect, however. I'm really excited about that. All the surround for the windscreen is a little bit messed up in there. But this is the same windscreen as a TR4, believe it or not. Or excuse me, a Spitfire, believe it or not. I haven't gotten in the glove box yet. I don't want to break anything, but I might just have to. These are flat gauges, speedometer and all that kind of stuff. Now, one thing I did notice is the amperage gauge has a Lucas symbol on it, vice a Jaeger. I kind of assume that's accurate because Lucas is the electronics guy. However, my temperature is in Celsius, which would tell me that maybe this is not an original car to the United States because it's not in Fahrenheit. But the speedometer is not in kilometers, it's in miles. So I'm not quite sure if it was replaced. I don't know why you'd replace it with a Celsius gauge. That would support the extra width back here, but not the license plate holes. So I don't know. Bottom of the doors look good, and the door gaps look pretty good too. I'm happy with the door gaps, but the doors themselves look good even from the inside. This fender in here looks good. Might have some bubbling down there, but again, it doesn't look like it's horrible. And the insides again look pretty good, especially underneath the undercoating under there. Obviously, the very front of the A-post here, that's starting to lose it. Wires, discs up front, drums up back. I got wires. I have a spare wire. I got extra seats, or not extra seats, I've got seats. Obviously the bonnet here, bonnet's in a little bit rough shape, but all the badging's there. And this one eyebrow here you can see is relatively beat up, so I'll have to fix that. As far as parts came, I got a fiberglass transmission tunnel cover. I'm not real crazy about the fiberglass one just because it's a little stiff, but I may like it. The radiator looks to be in really good shape, if not even new. So I got to figure out what's going on there, but that's not new, but it looks like it's in really good shape. Alternator there, or generator, is not in good shape, and I'm going to visit some of that stuff. As far as, I got a bunch of gaskets, new end caps, sills, outer sills, inner sill strengtheners, all the carburation and all the manifolds and everything are under there. I got a new boot lid, so that'll be able to hook me up when it's time to replace the boot lid. I got the whole old carpet set. And there's also a tonneau cover there on top. A white, I haven't broken that out yet. I don't even know what that is, but it's a white vinyl something. I don't know what that is. I got a front valance bottom. So I've got that too. The transmission tunnel support. A couple tubes in the manifolds, the starters down there. Amco floor mats under there that are nasty shape, but they're there. So as far as my overall assessment goes, my opinion is that this car has been sitting for quite a while, and that the previous owner that I bought it from someone else not too long ago. He's essentially flipped it. I think he got it essentially in the shape that you see it. So I think what had happened was, and from what he knew, is the gentleman, whoever had it before him, started to do a rebuild on the motor because it'd probably been sitting for so long. You know, so who knows? But like I said, the engine does turn, so maybe the guy just wanted to do an inspection. The prop shaft is unbolted and everything, so that the engine was definitely in preparation for coming out. But the car must have been stored inside, because there's no way, especially the wings and the inner fenders are in the shape that they appear to be in if you know, the car wasn't stored indoors. At least I can't believe that, based on what I got from Dorothy when Dorothy, I know, was stored outdoors for quite some time. So with the exception of the floors, I have the sills, like I said, and the inner strengtheners, so I know that's going to be replaced, and the floors are going to need to be replaced. But right now, and I'm not trying not to get, you know, overconfident, but right now it doesn't appear that there's a whole lot more sheet metal to replace. So the wings need to come off. I need to inspect them completely. Really cool that these use the screws here to attach the wings. I think that's kind of neat, just to keep it flush. But they all look, I mean, who's to say that they've never been taken off, but the paint is in halfway decent shape on most of them. All this paint is rubbed off, which is kind of neat, or kind of weird. So I don't know what's kind of going on there, if why that would rub off. You can see that's kind of rubbing off there too. That just seems odd that would happen to me, but you know, whatever. Original wiring harness is in there. Definitely the wires have been labeled, so it definitely was coming off at some point. Based on the age, I don't think that's the original solenoid, but that's not necessarily something that I would think would last forever. No original paperwork. I don't have the crank for the motor, for hand turning over the motor. The battery the battery tray is completely shot. The guy just slathered absolute tons of Bondo on top of that. But it's not, from the underside, it's not terrible. It's not completely gone. But obviously that'll require some repair there. So who knows? So with all the spare parts, and I also got the top rails, top bows are right there. All the spare parts and everything, I got it for about $42.50. Who knows, right? Was that a great deal? I don't know. But the car seems to be in a better starting spot than Dorothy was. The entire 4 inches of this car doesn't seem to be gone. So, but as always, I'm upfront and straight with you guys. And feel free to comment if I just got ripped off. I have a feeling that I didn't, but we'll see. So the guy that I bought it from deals, and he had his business was auto parts in the past, and it's like walking through a time warp in his garage. Just boxes upon boxes of original Lucas equipment and all sorts of stuff. It was fun just kind of walking around and hearing him tell some stories and seeing all the stuff that he had. So I'll be reaching out to him, I'm sure, to see if he's got any more stuff or if he finds any more stuff. Seemed like a nice gentleman that is older, wanted somebody to be able to take the car and restore it. So we'll see how that works out for me. But there you go, enough talking. Sorry if I talked your ear off there. I'm obviously pretty excited. Picked it up just today, found it last Monday, and sealed the deal today. So this will be a slow roll. I intend to take a lot more time, a lot more meticulous, especially with the disassembly. I'm saving absolutely everything. I didn't do that with Dorothy. I was not careful about saving everything. If it didn't look like it was a good shape, I was trashing it. So that's not going to be the way this time. Writing everything down, I'm going to keep a journal. And Chef Tush is a real good example of how to do a restoration right as far as that kind of stuff. And I didn't really do that with Dorothy, though I'm happy with the way she came out. I think I can do a little bit better job here, at least in that department. So there we go. Oh, and I love this, the original blank for the radio antenna. Anyway, so there it is. All right, so needless to say, I'm pretty happy, pretty stoked, pretty excited to slowly get into the disassembly at least, and the final look and the inspections and making decisions about what the condition of everything overall is. I'm going to need a name. So for those of you that don't know, my Spitfire I named Dorothy. That's after my grandmother, the wife of my grandfather, who essentially taught me all I know about cars, especially British cars, and instilled my love for the classic automobile. I have no intention, there's no theme to maintain or anything with that. If you guys have any recommendations or ideas for a name, I'm all ears. But otherwise, I got to get Dorothy out of here still. I haven't driven her yet, and it's getting really nice. It's kind of a bummer, but again, we're starting kind of in a logistical jam here a little bit from time to time, so hopefully I'll have her soon. That's all I got. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Cheers.